This is our seventh year at UW Green Bay itself. Several years ago, I was at 60% of my budget. I lost a lot of support. It happens over time. And I was like, well, boy, I've been doing Chi Alpha all these years. The only people I know are poor college students. Who am I going to ask to support me? And so I started looking through the referral materials that were available to me at the time through our support raising training, and I was not happy with it. I thought this is very ancient stuff. This isn't going to work well. Some of it I thought it was just not good. And so I asked myself, how am I going to get in front of people? And before I was with Chi Alpha, I was an insurance salesman with Mutual of Omaha. And when I first started in that business, I was doing cold calls trying to get clients, and that really stunk. But then I heard of a guy named Wayne Cotton, who was a billionaire around the round table of insurance companies, and he created a referral system himself that he trained people on. And so I paid $2,500 to learn how to use a referral system that he created. So when I was sitting in Chi Alpha and looking at 60%, I said, you know what? That material worked really well for me. When I started doing that at the end of my insurance business, I only did referrals. That's the only clientele I had was referrals. So I said, if it worked there, it can work here. So I started working on a system that was similar to that to make it more relatable to the work that we do as missionaries. And so this is the plan that I put together. I was at 60%. And so I put it out there in the ether. I started using it. And by the end of that summer, I had fully raised my entire budget using this process. And so that's what I'm going to be teaching you guys today. So I'm going to share my screen with you. All these things that you're going to see are available in that template that I sent to you. Every single page, including the missionary directions that we're going to be looking at first, is all in there. So let me pull that up really quick here. Share. Da, da, da. And all right, and let me know if you guys can all see that.
Yes.
Good, yes. All right. Just gonna make okay. All right, so we're gonna look through this together, and I'm just gonna talk through each step. And if you have a question, certainly go ahead and ask as we're going, and then at the end we'll have time for more questions as well. So the referral process for existing partners, there's some new training in here that I've included on even your new appointments that you get with someone new. You should ask for referrals in every appointment you go to. Okay. So starting with existing client support base. Okay. So contact your supporter and ask them for an appointment. Okay. So you actually want to get with your support base. Offer to take them out for coffee, lunch, or dinner, and just if they can meet in person, that'd be preferable if you can. And if not, then certainly a video call. One of those two, you can't do any other way with this. Okay.
Hey, Brian, let me
Yes.
interrupt you. Can you make the text a little bit bigger?
Sure. Absolutely. Is that better?
Yeah, I think that's good.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right. So if they can't make it in person, ask for a video call, Zoom, Microsoft Teams, whatever you want to use there. So why are you asking for the appointment? So one is that you want to bless them. They've been supporting you financially, so you want to thank them and so take them out in that regard. Two, to hear about what's going on in their lives so you know how to best be praying for them. And then finally, referrals. So, what I say when I'm on the phone with somebody is I'll say something like, another reason I'd like to get with you is because we're looking to add more people to our support team. Some key members of our current team have helped us by introducing us to a few of their friends and family through a referral process that we have. I'd like to go through that referral process with you. Basically, we'll do some brainstorming of names, and then after we'll come up with a few, I'll get their addresses and phone numbers from you. Then I'll have you send a referral letter to each of them. After a few days, I will give them a call to see about setting up an appointment. This referral process has been super beneficial. So, can we schedule time to get together within the next couple of weeks to go through it? Now, let me just say aside here. I am basically spelling out to my supporter exactly what this appointment is about. Why? Because when I first started doing this, I just said, "Hey, I want to get with you and I want to bless you and I've got this referral system that I've created and I'd like to share it with you, trying to meet people." Guy's like, sure, let's get together. We go through the whole referral process, have him do the whole thing. He takes my letters with him because he didn't have the addresses at the time. And I'm calling him like every other day, like, hey, did you get those addresses and those contact, right? Finally, after a couple weeks, he says, yeah, I sent out the letters. I'm like, awesome. Can I get their phone numbers and addresses from you? No, I'm not giving that to you. I'm like, then how am I supposed to contact them? He's like, no, I don't like giving that information out. So if they're interested, they'll call you. Zero phone calls. So this using this language is dummy proof. You have to assume that people are idiots. And so you have to spell out for them, here's what's going to happen in this appointment. I am going to ask you for referrals. I'm going to need their contact information so that I can call them. Okay. So I spell that whole thing out. All right. Now, if they say yes, great, set up the appointment. If it's going to be a video call, you can send. So let's say you schedule an appointment, you can send 7 referral cards, and you'll see what these look like a little bit later on. 7 stamped envelopes, the brainstorming name sheet, the referral letter directions, and a thank you card in advance to the meeting in a manila envelope. And then overnight it if the appointment demands that you do so, so that you can have that material to them before the appointment. And you'll understand what that means as we continue through this training. Okay.
And you'll have that those things available.
Yes, yep. So they're going to see all of that here. So I just wanted, this is just a little kind of teaser up ahead.
Oh,
So,
so I guess my thought was they'll
yeah,
be able to access this after the call.
exactly. So after the call, they'll be able to get into these things, and then once they have them, then when you're in the appointment on a video call, they already have the material in front of them to do it.
Perfect.
Yep. Now, if they say no, ask what the hesitation is. And the number one hesitation is going to be they don't like giving out people's personal contact information. Guess what? Neither do I. I used to sell Kirby vacuum cleaners, and like every appointment, I was required to get names, man. And those people hated when I called them because I'm selling vacuums. So we get it. We hate, I get so many spam phone calls right now. It's insane. So no one likes it, right? So if they say no because they don't like giving that information, validate that. Say, I totally get where you're coming from. I generally don't like to give out people's information either. So I have a couple ideas to run by you. First, the first thing I want you to think about is the people you would be referring to me are people that care about missions, and that you wouldn't be giving their information to an insurance salesperson or something like that, but to a missionary that won't hound them to buy something, but to share a common goal in advancing God's kingdom. How do you think those people would feel about you giving me, a missionary, their information? Usually when I have run into this, that diffuses it right there. They're like, "Oh yeah, you're not a vacuum cleaner salesman. You're a missionary. You're advancing God's kingdom." So then they're willing to go on. Now, if they still hesitate, say, "Here's another option. You don't have to give me anyone's information. We can go this route. We can go through the brainstorming of names over the phone, and you just write them down without telling me. After we've done the brainstorming of names, I'll ask you to reach out to them and ask them if it's okay to send them a letter about our ministry, and if it's okay for you to give me their contact information. I will then call you back in a couple of days after to see if any of them are okay with it. How would you feel about doing that for me? Okay, so now they can call the people and like going, hey, I'm thinking of sending you a letter about this missionary. Would you be cool with that if they called you? Completely. Now, if they say yes, ask them if they have time to do the brainstorming right now. Takes about 30 minutes to do the full process on that, okay? Or do you need to schedule a phone call to do it? Okay. If they still say no, even after that, then tell them that you're thankful for their support and respect their boundaries. See um, if they would still like to get together to catch up, though, because again, they're still your financial partner. Don't say, "Oh, you don't want to give me referrals." Well, forget the coffee or lunch. Like no, still meet with them. And when you go to the appointment, if they do meet with you, have the referral stuff in your car, leave it in there. And as you're meeting with them and sharing with them and just where you're at, they may say, hey, you know what? I would like to actually do that. Say, really? Oh, I have this stuff in my car. Can I go grab it quick? And you're always ready to go with it, okay? And I have had those situations happen. So, all right, now let's say you get to the appointment, okay? And you start with fellowship, obviously, okay? So just like you would when you're doing a first time sitting down with someone and asking them for support, kind of this same roadmap. Catch up with them, see how they're doing, okay? Then you go into the referral process. I mentioned to you on the phone that I have a referral process and I'd like to go through it with you now. The first thing we do is a brainstorming session of just names of people. So in person, give the support or the brainstorming names. And this says page 5 on here. This is the page 5 within Canva. So I'm going to really quick show you guys. Can I move this banner thing? I got the thing blocking me from. Can I move the thing that says this meeting is being recorded? That's blocking all my tabs. Oh my goodness. Hold on. Can you move that or
I
Greg?
think you can just exit out of it. There's like
Oh,
an option to,
just hit OK. Okay, there we go.
or yeah.
Thanks. All right, so this is what the brainstorming names sheet looks like. Okay, so you're gonna hand this to them. And on here it's got family, co-workers, neighbors, college, church, clubs, high school, business owners, and other. Now there's a lot of lines on here, so I'm gonna explain this to you guys in just a few minutes here. Okay. So you pull that out, video call. They should have received this same sheet by mail, so they've got it. You ask them to pull it out. Okay. Inform them that the names they write here will not all be used. This is just to get the brain working. Let's start thinking of people. So ask them to only list people they believe are Christians and then just start with the first section, which is family. Okay, so family. Who are some people in your family that are believers? Then you wait them to think and write some names down. Don't talk here. Don't try to like. It's kind of like the ask almost, where you ask for support and then you shut up. Same thing here. Let them think. But if they're kind of, this is why family's the first one. If they're kind of struggling with it and not getting going, you can start saying little things like parents. How about siblings, aunts, uncles, cousins, and then they'll start writing, and then the rest of the form will be easier for them because they've gotten in the like, oh, this is what we're doing. Okay. So you start with the family, then you just, once they're done with that, they've written a few names down, maybe one, two, maybe they fill all blocks there. Who are some people in your family? Then you move on to the next one, coworkers. Who are some people you've worked with in the past or you're currently working with that are believers? Wait for them to write names down. And then you just rinse and repeat through the entire form to see if get that form filled out. Now they won't again they won't completely fill it out, but they'll have categories in some of those different listings. Okay. Now, after they finish brainstorming these names, you say, now we're going to go through this list of names, and here's what I'd like you to do. Ask yourself two questions. If you were going to become a missionary yourself and need to raise your own finances, who would you ask on this list? Second, if you were to suggest that they should meet with me, Brian, and Angie to hear about their ministry, about our ministry, would they take your advice? Okay, so what we're doing here is we're qualifying this referral. We're saying, hey, don't send a letter to somebody that's going to be like, oh, Brian sent me a letter and I think he's an idiot. Why would I take his advice? Right? No, you're going to have them send it to people like, oh, I trust what this person says and they say I should meet this guy. I probably should do it. Okay, so you're qualifying the referrals here with these two questions. So you go through the list again and you have them just put a check mark next to the 3 or 7 people's names that you think would meet with me based on that recommendation. 3 to 7 names is all you are asking for in this appointment for qualified referrals. Okay. If they say, boy, I have more than that, say, that's amazing. Hey, let's just start with your top 7 for now. And maybe later on, we'll come back to these other ones in the future, but I just want to start with 7 for now. And I'll explain why that is in a little bit in this meeting. Okay. So you go through that list. They can either check off the ones they like or they'll scratch out ones like, no, they won't listen to me. They think I'm an idiot, right? So they'll go through the list, they'll scrub it. Okay. So go through the list again, put check marks next to those names, and then give that supporter time to think and tell them at this time to try not to decide for people whether or not they can meet with me. Okay. Like sometimes like, oh, they're so busy or, they don't have any money. Da, da, da. Say, don't, hey, let them decide. Just do they trust you? Would they meet with me based on your recommendation? I'm not asking you to know whether or not they will partner with me. Just will they meet with me based on your recommendation? That's all you want to get to. Okay. Now, once they've scrubbed that list, you're going to then go to write those names yourself on the qualified referral sheet. Now, this is what that looks like. This is the qualified referral sheet. So on here, you'll see it asks for first name. What's the relationship to the referrer? Okay, so let's say it's Bob, and Bob says, or Mary, and you say, "Who's Mary?" Mary is my mom. So you'd write mom in here, okay? Do they are they married? What's their spouse name, last name, mailing address, phone number, email? And you can see here's one of the reasons we only do seven. There's only seven blocks on here to write that information. That's one of the reasons, but it's not the main one. Okay, so you get that out. Be sure that you do it in case her handwriting is really hard to read. First time I did this, I did it with a guy. It's just a prayer partner, but I wanted to try it out on him. And so he wrote out all the names and addresses, and I got back to my office. I'm so excited. I got seven names. I can't read what he wrote. I had to call. I was like, dude, I can't read any of this. So I had to. So when you do this, do it yourself. Okay. So you do the handwriting. So again, get this following information from them. Now, if they don't have the information available, ask if they believe they could get it from the referral. Have them message or call them to get the contact information. Again, these are qualified referrals. These aren't people that they barely know. They're people that, hey, they trust what I might say. So the chances are that people would be willing to give it to them. Okay. So they could tell the person they want to send them something in the mail. So, hey, I need your mailing address. What is it? Right. And if they don't have email, I'm not so much worried about email as I am about phone numbers. So if you don't get that one, but mailing address is the big one. You need that one and the phone number. Okay. So tell them they can say, "Hey, I want to send you something in the mail. What's your address?" If they trust them, they're going to just send. They're not going to say, "What are you sending me?" No, they're just going to send it. But if they do, the referral is really inquisitive. The referrer can tell them that they want to send them a personal note about a missionary friend they support, but only if pressed. Now, if they have any objections at this point, because sometimes it'll come back up like, oh, I don't know if I want to get their information to you. I just say arm yourself, and that's an acronym, which is one A, affirm their concern and say, I know what you mean. I don't like doing that either. Giving out my friends and family contact information, but R, remind them about the way you qualified the referrals. Like, I'm a missionary, and these are people that you would ask, and you think that they would like to hear about the mission movement. Okay, remember those two questions. And then finally, three, make a commitment that when you reach out to the referral, if they say they're not interested, that you won't ever call them again. And I have people in my contact list that I've got I don't delete them, but I put through like never contact and I put notes. They said don't, they're a referral from this person. So that if they ever give me that person again as a referral, I'm like, oh wait, they already did that. I don't want a contact person. Okay. So affirm. Okay. Affirm, remind, make. So then you get to the personal note. Now, in person, get out the needed referral cards, and that says pages 3 and 4. And I'll explain a little bit what that means, because there's also page 1 and 2 for first time appointments that I'll be talking about. And then get out the referral letter directions as well, which is pages 7 and 8 in Canva, printed on one sheet, front and back. So I'm going to show you what those look like really quick here. Let's see here. Okay. Can I move this thing? There we go. Yes, I can move it. Thank you. All right. So, first of all, here's the first referral letter for your existing partners. This is existing partners. So, this is the inside of the referral letter. And if you guys can see me on your screen as well, I'll just hold it up what it looks like. So this is the outside, okay? And this is where our personal note's going to be written. This is just our logo over the side here, our little love, invite, serve, transform. It's live by the list. And then you can put whatever you want there. Then on the inside, as you can see on the page over here, it's a personal testimony from a student whose life has been impacted by Chi Alpha ministry, and then the bottom is a letter from you. Okay. And then the back side of that letter, and we'll be looking at this on the computer as well, has got the Chi Alpha logo with the vision statement of Chi Alpha and contact information and the U.S. mission logo. Okay. So what is in here is a personal testimony from a student. And then at the bottom, the letter says, so why did you receive this letter? Every year, thousands of students come to campuses of Northeast Wisconsin to begin the next chapter of their lives. Every year, we serve to reach the most strategic mission field in the world, the university campus. Students like Isaiah have experienced life change made possible by our financial partners. We have asked our current support base if they have any friends, relatives, coworkers, or neighbors that might be interested in sharing in the ministry of Chi Alpha. We told them we are looking for people interested in joining our team who have a heart for seeing the lost reached, Christians being discipled, and a mission movement that impacts the world. That's why you received this letter. We would love to share more with you about this ministry opportunity, and we'll be reaching out to you in the next week to see about scheduling a time to meet. Yours for the universities. Okay. Then here's the back side. Again, the Chi Alpha logo or Chi Alpha vision statement, my contact information, and the U.S. Mission logo. And then there's the front of that card. So that's front and back. And I'll explain a little bit more as we're going. Then just the referral letter for first time appointments, just the verbiage in the second paragraph in my letter is just a little different. While meeting with this person that sent you this letter, we asked if they might know anyone that would be interested in sharing the ministry of Chi Alpha. We told them we're looking for people interested in joining our team who have a heart, and then it's the same. So just a little changing on the verbiage based on the type of appointment that you have. Okay. So any questions at this point before I move on? Okay, because I know I'm giving it to you in a fire hose here. So okay. All right.
Give
So
us the kind of a synopsis, just like a bullet point of where you're at up to here.
yeah, so we've called and we've asked for an appointment, right? And we've told them what we're going to do at this appointment, that we're going to be asking for referrals, right? You're sitting down with them, you're having lunch or coffee, and you say, and you transition to the appointment, say, hey, I remember I told you in the phone that I have this referral process. I'd love to share it with you. First, we're going to start with brainstorming of names. You get them thinking of those names and writing some names down on that sheet. Then, after they've done that, then you get out the qualified referral sheet and have them only go down to seven, 3 to 7 people that they think would one either support them if they were going to be a missionary, and would they meet with you based on their recommendation. Okay, you write those names down, then you get out these referral cards, and you're also going to get out the referral letter directions, which I will be showing in a moment here. Okay. So you get that out, and then the referral letter directions. And the referral letter directions, this is going to tell them what they need to write on that letter. Okay. So let me zoom in a little bit here so you can see that. Okay. So when writing your personal note, please include the 6 elements listed below, but put in your own words. Some examples are included. And please write legibly. If you are with somebody and they say they've just got horrible penmanship, then you write the letter and you just have them sign. Okay. If you have horrible penmanship, I don't know what to tell you. No, you got to have, but it's got to be legible. They got to be able to read it. Okay. So, one, greeting. Hey, so and so, or dear so and so, however they want to say it. Two, a personal note. Can you believe how terrible the Minnesota Vikings are this year? Whatever you want to say, hope your family's doing well. Three, introduction. I want to introduce you to our friends, Brian and Angie Bishop, and their ministry that we've been financially supporting or contributing to or praying for over the last 3 months or 6 years, whatever it is. Okay. Four, what I love. I love or I enjoy or am blessed by. And there's several options like seeing how students' lives are changed by the gospel or how they welcome and minister to international students, whatever is something personal to them that they love that we do. Okay. Then five, a personal encouragement. Please consider meeting with them or let them buy you coffee or lunch so that you can hear about their heart for Chi Alpha or UW Green Bay, or so they can share about their ministry that they're doing. Okay. And then finally, six, a signature. So here's a sample. Hey, Tim and Addie, I hope you and your family are well. I want to introduce you to our friends, Brian and Angie Bishop, and their ministry that we've been supporting financially for the past few years. We love seeing how students' lives are changed through the ministry they do. Please consider meeting with them so you can hear their heart for UW Green Bay. Signed, Alexander Hamilton. I did Alexander Hamilton because my daughter was a huge fan of the musical. Like she put created like five different Spotify playlists, like order of the songs, alphabetical of the songs. She even got the book it was based on and read the whole thing. She was just a nut about it. And then here's what the letter looks like. Okay. So, and then be sure to put the card in an envelope so that the note is the first thing they see when they open it. Okay. And then finally, addressing the envelope. We live in a technological world. That being said, most of you already know how to fill out an envelope, but there are a few people that don't. So just be clear, your mailing address goes in the top left corner and the referral's address goes in the middle. We do Christmas cards every year with our students to Jesus, like, hey, do a Christmas card to Jesus, like what you want to give them. And they do not know how to put addresses on their envelopes. It's ridiculous. So a lot of people don't know how. So again, so you're going to be handing these things just to show you. So again, so I hand this to them along with the referral letters with the directions, and the back has what it looks like when they're all said and done. So they know what are they doing here, okay? All right. So you give them those referral letter directions, okay? And then the referral cards. Now, in here, I've included for you guys in missionary directions, here's how you print these cards. And I've got a mound of paper next to me to prove that it can be difficult when I was getting these numbers right. But referral card printing directions. One, use 8.5 by 11 premium card stock, 110 pounds. Again, you'll have all this information. Okay. Print pages one and two together, so you'll save them as a PDF um, together for existing supporters, pages 3 and 4 for first time appointments. Select to print one page per sheet, print both sides, flip sheet on long edge. Three, printing properties, make sure that you select thick, plain paper. Quality, do it on the best setting so those pictures look good, and color, of course. And then just a note I put here, cardstock can be really picky in a printer. If you don't have a really good printer, you might want to go to a professional place like Office Depot or something like that to have them print them for you. I had to on my printer because it wouldn't on the other side, it wasn't lining them up. So I have to print page one just by itself, and then I take it off the printer and put the sheet back in face up so that it prints the back end of it so that they come out right when I cut them out. That's just the way mine is. I'm like, I might buy an even more expensive printer because I was really frustrated last night with that. But they do line up as you've seen, as I've shown you the sample there. Okay. So, but cut out along the lines. I'm going to pull this up here. The referral letter again. So you see these lines here, these green lines. You cut the top. So when they're printed front and back, here's the front, here's the back. So they're printed out on one paper. You cut out the top line and the bottom line here and the two side lines, not this middle line. That's just where the crease is when you fold it in half. Okay. When you cut that, that is what will make this letter fit into a business envelope perfectly. Okay. So you cut along those lines, fold edge to edge, the middle lines is in the inside crease, and then you sign the card. So again, on the referral letter, just to scroll down, I've got this space to sign. Sign it in a different color, not black, basically. Make it, let them see that you actually wrote that note, okay? All right, so sign that. Have them write a personal note on each card following the referral letter directions. So here's why you only do a maximum of 7. Because if that person has to write more than 7 of these, they're going to hate you. I've got a little bit of arthritis going in my hands. They get tired after a while. So 7 is the max. If they start getting tired, you could once they get like here's what I'm going to write on these referral letters. If they want, you can say, hey, do you want me to write some of them? And they'd say, yes, please. You can write some of them too to help them get the process moving and everything. But again, write legibly. So I have them write that personal on each card. So 3 to 7, whatever they have. Maybe it's only one, maybe it's only two, but 7 max. Okay. Then you ask them for permission to use their address as the return address. Why do we do that? Because when that person gets the letter, if it's your address on there and your name, it's going in the garbage. They don't know you. But if it's from the person that sent it to them, oh, this letter is from my buddy John. Why did he send me a letter? They're going to open it. Okay. Makes sense? but you need, and no one's ever said no to this, but it's still a courtesy to just say, hey, can we use your address as return on envelopes? That way, the referral knows who it comes from. And then you provide the stamp. So when I go into these meetings, I already have in a folder. Here, I'll pull it out. I carry all my referral stuff in a binder, and in this binder, I have 7 envelopes already, and all of them already have stamps on them. I provide the stamps and envelopes and everything. Okay. So, you provide that stamp. Now, in person, mail the cards to the referral, and then you wait about a week to 10 days before you start calling. Um, you want the referral to get these cards. You don't want to call and then they didn't get it. And you're like, oh, well, you got a letter from this person. They sent it. It's better for them to get it. Okay. So 10 days, I would say, if it's like out of state or whatever. Video call, again, ask the supporter to contact you because you already mailed this stuff to them. They're filling it out while you're on that video call. And then you just say, hey, can you just message me when you've actually put them in the mail so that you know when to start the clock of when the mail will get to them and start your phone calls. Okay, make sense? All right. Now, on the call, so you're ready to, you've sent the cards, they've gotten them. Now, I'm going to say this too. So if you have the appointment in person, you take the cards with you when they're done. Okay? Don't do this whole, hey, can I take them home and write them out later? No, because when I've done that in the past, it will be months before they get them sent out because the handwriting of those notes is the thing that takes all the time. That's why when you schedule this appointment, say, can I book an hour appointment with you? Because that's how long it will take to get through this whole thing. Okay. So don't have them take them with them. You want to leave with those in hand so you have control of when they go out in the mail, which should be that same day. Okay. Get them out. Okay. So the phone call. Ask if they got the card. If they did, proceed to ask for the appointment. Now, I'm going to tell you right here, guys, here, this is my experience in the insurance business, and this is my experience in using this as well. If you give that amount of time and they've received that letter, here's usually the response you will get when you ask if they got the letter. They say, oh, yeah, I've got your letter right here. They've got it either pinned on their fridge or they've got it on their desk. They are anticipating your call. Okay. Again, because it was a qualified referral, they're expecting to hear from you. So if they haven't yet, inform them that the referrer had mailed them a personal note about you and thought they might be interested in hearing about your ministry. Ask for the appointment. It's not great, but if they said, wow, so and so sent me a letter and they took the time to do that and they thought I should meet with you, I'll do it. But it's way better if they do get the letter, okay? If you get voicemail, be sure to mention the referral card and inform them that you'll be trying to call back in a couple of days to try to schedule an appointment. I'm kind of one of those people when it comes to support raising training. I train people, I coach people. I tell them to say when they're going to call again so that that person getting those calls can't just keep on ghosting. Like, this guy's going to keep on hounding me. He's calling me 2 days. I might as well call him back, right? So that's what I do. That's what I highly recommend you do as well. So tell them, I'm going to call back in a couple of days. Okay. Now, after a couple calls, certainly send them a text message. Here's a sample one. Hey, Ryan and Paula, this is Brian Bishop with Chi Alpha Campus Ministry. Ben Carlson had sent you a letter about us and thought you might like to hear about the work we do. I would love to take you out for coffee to share about what God is doing as we are in the process of building our support team. Would you happen to have any time free in the next couple of weeks? Okay. Sample text. Then, but if they did answer, you've got the appointment. At the appointment, be sure that you mention the referrer and talk them up. This is reverse gossip time. Like, say really good things about them. Ask how do they know them and everything. Talk a little about that relationship. Okay. Now, that's the end of the overall referral training stuff. Okay. The next thing here is, I have people ask me, who should I ask? Everybody. If they're a financial partner, I don't care if they're only giving you $5 a month. Like, get with them. Ask them if they know people. Okay. But also, let's say you're sitting down with someone for the first time. You should ask everyone for referrals. We've just been really bad at this. So here's a process. At the end of your financial appointment, ask the after the request, and they've partnered with you, hopefully. When you're done with everything, switch into the referral request to end. This process has been shortened, so I've shortened this up so it won't take an hour. Okay. You've already taken 30 minutes or so of their time asking them to partner with you financially. That being said, you don't want to take another hour to do a full referral process, but you don't want to leave without asking for them. So start with, hey, I really appreciate your time today and partnering with me. I just have one final question. Do you know anyone that might be interested about to hear about our ministry? I'm trying to meet with many as people as possible to share about Chi Alpha. And you'll see at the bottom of these directions, I'll show those in a little bit, but there's a slide that I would recommend using. Have a presentation, and this will be a part of it, okay? Use the overcoming objection stuff that you learned that I went through and all the other things if they have any. And then if they can't think of anyone, then just say, hey, let's move on. Then you just move on to the next slide, which has got brainstorming names. I'll show that in a few moments, okay? Tell them that you're just looking for 1 to 3 names here, 1 to 3 names max, and ask them the 2 qualifying questions that we've already gone through. Who would you ask and would they meet with me? Okay. And then say, here's just a list of categories to brainstorm from. And then you just read through the list yourself slowly. And then, are there any people that come to mind? Again, I'll show you the slide here in just a few moments of what a sample of what you could make that look like. Once they've given you a couple names, pull out the number of referral letter first appointment cards. That's pages 1 and 2 that you would print. These have a slightly different personal note, as I've already shown you. These cards have already been filled out. You've written the personal note yourself, okay? The only thing to be written in are the names of who it is being sent to at the top and the signature from the referrer. So you just need to leave enough space at the top and the bottom to fit the other lines. So here's what you write. You write leave space at the top. I pray this letter finds you doing well. I want to introduce you to Brian and Angie Bishop and their ministries to students of UW Green Bay. I recently met with Brian to hear his heart for sharing the gospel with college students. After our meeting, I thought you might be interested to hear about the ministry as well. Please consider meeting with them and then leave space for the referrer to sign. And then here is a sample card below as well. So have them sign the 1 to 3 and then follow the same process as done in regular meetings. So permission to use their address and so forth. After that, use a slide that says thank you. So just as here's the one. Do you know anyone that might be interested or have that as a slide to get them thinking, hey, we're transitioning to a different thing? They can't think of anybody. Have a slide that has all those, and you'll see this. I'll zoom in a little bit here so you can see that better. Oh no, I went the wrong way with that. My goodness. All right, here we go. Um, okay, so you can see on here, this has got all those different brainstorming names on this. Is there anybody in your family? Just go through these, get 1 to 3 names, and then finally the referral sign. This is you. You've written this out. Space at the top for you. You write in the name of who it's going to. That way it matches the penmanship of the letter itself. And then they sign at the bottom. That's all they've got to do. So that way you're cutting down the time that it takes to do this process. Okay. All right. And then here's just some Canva printing tips I have with this. So if anybody's not super familiar with Canva, create a new folder on your computer, label it as referrals. In Canva, click on the share at the top right, click to download, and you're going to do download the things that you want to print, PDF print, and then there's PDF digital. The only one you'll do digital is the missionary directions. Everything else is printed, but select pages 1 and 2 and save as a PDF and call that referral letter first time appointments. Select pages 3 and 4, save as referral letter existing partners. Page 5, save as brainstorming names. Page 6, qualified referrals. And then page 7 and 8, that is the referral letter directions. And then finally, page 9, which is the missionary directions. Do not print that because, as you can see, it is not regularly sized paper. It would be really wonky. Okay, so that is the training. Through the referral process again, I know I went really quickly through it, and wow, within 45 minutes, so I nailed it. I want to open it up to questions at this time. Questions.
Brian, how many people did you ask for referrals and how many referrals did you get?
That's a great question, Greg. Man, you put me on the spot.
You could just ballpark.
Yeah, I would say I asked 20 of my partners, And the way I did it, guys, here's the story. I when I built it, I tried it with this one partner. I had a couple people I did it here with. I'm like, okay, I think I've got a good system here. And then I'm originally from Montana. So I have partners from Wisconsin through North Dakota and Montana. And so I started calling all of them and saying, and I did this process on video call with them. Now, at that time, this actually, what's really cool is the sending the referral letters to video calls in advance was something that somebody that went through my training that they did and found success with. So I changed to that. But I was calling, getting the appointment, and then when it says here's the names, then I overnighted the material to them. Now I'm switching to I'm going to send it to them in advance so they have it all in hand, right? So that's what. So I called all of them. I got on calls and they gave me all these names. I sent them the referral cards, and then they mailed them out. And so I scheduled appointments across all the states where I had 3 to 4 appointments every day through all the states with just referrals. Now, as I started traveling across the states, um, I got about 4 or so days in, and I was not getting a yes. No one was saying yes. I was only getting, let me think about it. And I was like, oh God, this isn't going to work. I've got this whole trip of just referrals and I'm gonna get no's all the way across the board. But of course, when someone says, can I get back to you about it? You say, that's totally fine. Can I call you back in a few days or next week to see how you feel the Lord is leading you? I think that's important. Say the way the Lord is leading you, not how you feel, but how you feel the Lord is leading you. And all of them said, sure, yeah, give me a call back. About 90% of the people I called back all said yes. And here's the thing I learned from that. Think about this. That person that you just asked for financial support just met you. They've only known you for 30 minutes. People that you know, it's going to be more readily for them to say yes in that appointment because they know you. But these referrals, they don't. So you need to give them time to really think about it, maybe share it with their spouses and things like that. But um, I saw a high success rate across the states where 90% or so said yes, they would partner with me. And that's where I got from 60 and I raised all the way up to my 100% using just referrals across the states. Okay. So
So,
great question.
yeah. So, did you mention how many referrals you ended up
How many
getting?
referrals I had? So on average, um, I would get 2 to 3. When I asked for 3 to 7, 3 was kind of the sweet spot that
I
I
mean,
would get.
just all overall, like, did you get, from those 20 people, did you get 10, 20
Um,
ish?
so total of all of them, when I did that process, when I was sitting down with 20, when I asked 20 of my people, um, those led to, I want to say I had 50 referral cards I sent out, and out of those, about, I want to say 70% of them met with me, and out of that 70%, 90% of them partnered with me.
Hmm. Wow.
Okay. So the rate of return, so I want to make sure you understand, we all know that like if you're raising support just in general, meet with 10 people, then or you send out you ask 10 people if they'll meet with you, 7 of them will, 3 of them will partner with you. I see in this referral process, there's a little bit higher rate of return on the ask because again, there's this whole requalified thing that you're going through. Think about this. If someone is willing to meet with you, they don't know you and they're willing to take a half hour out of their schedule to have coffee or lunch with you when they don't know you, it's very highly likely they're going to partner with you. Because why would they take that time to meet with you in the first place when they don't even know you? So you've already had that's a high probability just because they said yes, they would meet with you, that they will partner with you. Now, that being said, I've had some people ask, "Hey Brian, can I just send this things to people digitally? Can I just send this through Facebook and have them send them a personal note that way?" My answer to that is sure, if you don't want to raise your budget. Don't shortchange this process. We all know it feels really good when you get something. in the mail from somebody. You know, you get the Christmas card and things like that. Who likes digital Christmas cards? No one does. But you get that physical one that's got a personally handwritten note that says something. And people like, I support Jeff Alexander, and he sends out a quarterly physical one. I love getting those. I don't want to get. I read my email newsletters and stuff, but I love the physical ones. People like getting something in the mail. So if someone sees that that person they know took the time to hand write them a note, that says a lot. That says, hey, this guy's a professional. And that too, for you, when you're meeting with someone that's a referral, you're not just only going in, you want them to see two things when you're presenting to them. One, that you have passion. Do you care about what you're doing? And two, professionalism. Okay. They get a card like this. This is professional. This isn't just some slop together little handwritten thing. Okay. Then, two, when you go into these appointments, if you do not have a presentation like PowerPoint or something like that with pictures of students, of lives changed and stuff like that, make one. Do not sit with a referral and just kick your feet back and talk to them like they're a regular person that you're buddies with, because you're not. They don't know you. So make a professional presentation to share with them
Mhm,
about Chi Alpha and what you do.
mhm.
And just a personal story. When I was doing this across the states, when I was in Montana, I was meeting with a referral and I had my presentation up and it has on there the numbers. And at that time, I still had 1,250 left to raise. And he's looking at my presentation. So he got the referral letter, he's looking through it. And then he says, can you show me the page again with the numbers? I said, sure. So I went back to the page where it showed the numbers of what I had raised and what I had left. He says, this is what you have left, 1,250 a month? I said, yep. And he said, I'll take it. He picked me a referral, picked me up for $1,250 a month. Now he's still a partner of mine. That was a few years ago. He's down to 800 now because of the economy was a little rough for a while there. But an $800 a month partner, he's my largest partner, a referral.
Nice. Yeah, that's incredible. And the number, I was trying to do the math. Maybe you like got 25 or 30 referrals out of that 50.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's incredible. How much ballpark did you raise in monthly support?
Well, let
Of
me.
course, that big one,
So
right?
my budget was like 9,000, and I was down to 60% of my budget. So whatever that is, it was like I want to say it was like 3,000 that I
Okay,
had to raise.
sure. Yeah. And then
3,000, 2,500,
2,000.
3,000.
Yeah, then about 2,000 aside from your big donor. So
Yep.
that's incredible. This is something that people always struggle with. And, just like what you're saying, everyone wants to do referrals, but, they tend to like, hey, can you think of 1 to 3 people or 3 to 5 people? And they think about it and say, well, I'll have to get back with you, just like you were saying, and they don't.
Yeah.
You
They
know,
usually say,
I think
"Gee, I can't
having a
think of anybody right now." Right? We've all heard that. Hey, can you think of anybody else that'd like to hear about this? Gee, I can't think of anybody right now. Right? That's usually the
But I
answer
think
we
what I
would get.
really like about this is, oh, even though this is like really detailed, it's a lot of work, but it's proven itself.
Yeah.
And if these guys, are really serious about referrals, and they're at that place where they need those kind of contacts, this will like really serve you guys well. Any other comment or question here, from you guys?
So be sure, if you do, I want to certainly take those. We have time. Be sure to click on that link that I provided. That is the template for Canva. It has everything in there, pages 1 through 9. So and they're all listed as what they are exactly. And if you have questions like, "Hey, I don't understand this," or "How do you do that?" certainly reach out to me. I'll provide my contact information in here really quick too in the chat.
Okay,
Um,
Alex, you had a question.
yes.
It's less a question, more just a thank you for sharing all this. We're kind of looking into referral process a little bit more detailed. And so in the back of my mind, I've been kind of, okay, what would that look like? How do I systemize this well? And you just saved me a couple days of figuring it out. So thank you for sharing it. And I
Absolutely.
think if I was to have one question, for us, we're up in Alaska, so we're making connections outside of our own network. as well. And so when you're looking at something like contacting pastors, is this something you would ever use in a pastoral context? Meaning, yeah, you get the gist, but would you do it differently in a referral context when you're talking to pastors, or
That's a great question. So the way I look at it with pastors is if I have a really good personal relationship with them, and it could be where I say, hey, maybe there's a pastor that's in another state that you came from, that you have a really good relationship with, not just another church, but that they have a relationship with other people, or maybe they know, hey, I come from this place where there was this couple that really loved campus ministry that I could send them a letter for you kind of thing. And of course, if they give you like, oh yeah, I know I came from Pittsburgh and so I know a lot of pastors out there. Of course, just remember as a missionary, you have to ask permission to support raise in other districts and things like that. Um, and that's of course only if you're nationally appointed. If you're not nationally appointed, you can't do that. But if you are nationally appointed, you can certainly get with pastors and just say, can I share this with you? And then they could get you referrals that way too. So if you have that kind of relationship with them, I'd say certainly do that. But it certainly is geared more towards your personal relationships that you have with people. Yeah.
Any other question or comment?
And I did put my contact in the chat there. So if you guys want to save that, you'll have access to me there.
Great. Well, good. Okay. Well,
Yeah,
go
sorry.
ahead,
I was
Pat.
trying to figure out
Yeah.
the link that you sent to all this stuff on Canva. Did you share it just for us to look at and then create our own, like, or
Yeah,
did
so
you
yep,
send
so
it to?
when you open when you open that template, you're able to save it as your own and download it, and that way you'll be able to go into Canva and change the pictures, put in your name, put in your own pictures and everything else in those things. So that template is I created it, so you just import it into your Canva. So if you don't have create a Canva account, and then you just when you go into templates, you can just save this one as a template, and it'll automatically save it onto your Canva. I experimented with it last night on my son's account since he's not in our ministry kind of thing. So I was just like, hey, does this work? And sure enough, he's able to open all the things on his computer on Canva. And then he can manipulate them and edit them.
Mhm.
So just saving it as a template, and that
Yep,
should unlock the things.
correct. Correct. Good question.
Anything else? Sweet.
And I just made it last night. So in there again, I worked on it for 7 hours last night, getting there. Like seriously, guys, I have a mound of paper next to my desk like pulling out my I did have hair last night. It was really long and I yanked it all out. No, like just like it's not printing right. Like I'm serious. I got paper just all over. Like I probably got to go buy new ink because I probably burned up through a lot of green. Because that's our school color. So yeah,
All right. Well,
so
great.
much.
Well, thanks, Brian. We really appreciate you working hard at this, and it's a proven track record, and I know it'll bless a lot of people.
Yeah,
So, hey, we have just a couple minutes left, and try to schedule this for a quarter after. But if you could take just a couple minutes and pray, for one another, I'll break you into breakout groups just to be an encouragement to each other. And
great.
yeah, thanks
All
so
right.
much, guys. We'll see you next month. Here's
All
our
right.
breakout.
Thanks, guys. God bless you again. Reach out to me if you have any questions, or if you run into something, if you run into an objection, you're like, how do you overcome that? And it did you? And then please met because again, like I heard from that guy, there's like he sent the letters in advance. I'm like, that's a really good idea. It's a living document. So if you come up with things that work really well, please let me know. I want to hear about those things. That'd be amazing. So, okay.